Hey everyone, so welcome to my playlist on single variable calculus. In my earlier lecture, we saw the theorem or we saw the statement of extreme value theorem. And after seeing that lecture, one of my student asked me, is the converse true? And if not, then can you give the counterexample? So I thought let's discuss with everyone. So we will see the statement. So this was the statement which we saw last time. So what does the statement says? It says that if you have a continuous function on closed and bounded interval, then extreme values are always attained. That means what? There exists a point in this interval where the function will have maximum value, and there exists a point in this interval where the function has minimum value. So that's what this phrase means. Okay, so now what will be the converse? So if you have a statement P implies Q, what is the converse of P implies Q? It is Q implies P, right? So in this case, what will be the converse? So the converse will be if f attains the extreme values, then I need to remove this. Okay, then you come from here, then f is continuous on closed and bounded interval. So this is what the converse of extreme value theorem is. P implies Q, converse is Q implies P. Okay, so if the function has extreme values, that means both maxima and minima, then can you say that the function is continuous on closed and bounded interval? Answer is no. It may happen that the function has extreme values, but the function may not be continuous. Or it may happen that function attains the extreme values, function is continuous, but the domain need not be closed and bounded. Okay, so we will see all. I will give you all these three examples. Okay, but before going towards the example, let me make sure the concept of closed and bounded is clear. Okay, so what is the meaning of closed interval and the bounded interval? Well, if you want to see the precise definition, then you can Google anytime, not a problem. But let me tell you in a very simplest possible way. Okay, so if you have an interval, so this is my real number system. Say this is 1 and 2. So this is my interval, closed interval 1, 2. So these are called as the boundary points. 1 and 2 are called as the boundary points, and the points inside here, they are called as the interior points. Okay, so in an interval, when the boundary points are included, then we say that such an interval is a closed interval. And if the boundary points are not included, then such intervals are called as open intervals, and that's why we give open bracket. Now open bracket means what? Open 1, 2 means you have only the interior points, the boundary points are not in the domain. So this is an example of an open interval, this is an example of a closed interval. 1, open 2. Now this is neither open nor closed. Why this is not closed? Because both the endpoints are not included. 1 is included but not 2. So, and is this open? No, because for open, both the boundary points should not be there. So since 1 is there, which is the boundary point, therefore this is not an open interval as well. Similarly, this is open closed interval. Okay, such kind of intervals are called as closed open. These are open closed. Many times we will also see the phrase clopen, close open. Okay, so that means one of these. But okay, that's not the thing. Yeah, what I want to say is open and close intervals. Okay, so that's one thing. Now if you observe, even this interval, if I take 1, infinity, the complete thing, close 1, infinity, this is a closed interval. Why so? Now see, when you call an interval to be a closed interval, if the endpoints are included. Now here, are the endpoints included? Answer is yes. Is the left endpoint included? Yes. And on the right hand side, everything is included. That means what? Nothing is missed. Okay, so when you say something is not closed, when the boundary point is missed, right? Like here the boundary point is not into the domain. Here boundary point is not into the domain. So whenever the boundary point get missed, that means it's not closed. But here nothing is getting missed. All the points on the right side are in the domain. Therefore, this is an example of a closed interval. Also, if I take minus infinity, 1, is the left endpoint included? On the right hand side, is anything excluded? Nothing is excluded. Everything is there. That means this is also an example of a closed interval. If I take minus infinity to infinity, the complete real number system, is this closed interval? Yes, because all the endpoints are included. Okay, when you say something is not closed, when the boundary point is not included. You tell me which is not included. You can't, right? Because everything is included. Therefore, this is also an example of a closed interval. Okay, so make sure these three parts are clear. They are closed intervals, and this is open as well. Okay, because the endpoints are not there. So this is closed as well as open. Okay, but yeah, this is not open because this is included. What about this? This is also open because boundary points are not included. Infinity is not included, 1 is not included. So yeah, there is the notion of closed and closed intervals. Now what about bounded intervals? If I want to say in the simplest language the concept of bounded interval, so whenever you have an interval, say AB, so whenever both the endpoints are finite, then we call such an interval to be a bounded interval. So whenever an interval is given to you, you just see whether both the endpoints are finite or not. Ignore about these brackets. For boundedness, don't worry about the brackets. For boundedness, only see whether both the endpoints are finite or not. If both the endpoints are finite, it's a bounded interval. If either one of them is infinite or both are infinite, then it is an unbounded interval. Okay, so I hope now the concept of bounded and unbounded and closed open is clear. Now let's go for example. Okay, now let's go for the first example. So we are giving counter examples to the converse of extreme value theorem. Okay, so what is the converse? If f attains the extreme values, then f is continuous on closed and bounded interval. No, this need not be the case. So if I take this interval AB, closed interval, okay, let me go like this. So let me call this C, and then, so this is a function, right? So yeah, is this function, does the function has extreme values? Yes, as you can see, if I call this as D, at D function has maximum value, and at A function has minimum value. So yes, maximum and minimum is attained. Is the function continuous? No, you can see that at C the function is a discontinuous function. Okay, because the right hand limit is not equal to the left hand limit. So the limit does not exist, and hence the function is not continuous. So it may happen that the extreme values are attained, but the function is not continuous. So that's why the converse is false. But if I take continuity, then again that does not imply that the domain is bounded. Okay, if I take function as my sin x on say 0 comma infinity, is this closed interval? Yes, because the right hand point is included, and because the left hand point is included, and nothing is missed on the right side, everything is included. So this is a closed interval. Is this bounded? No, because one of the endpoint is not finite. So this is not a bounded. Sin x is continuous function. Yes. Is it, does the extreme values are attained? Yes, 1 is attained at infinitely many points, and minus 1 is also attained at infinitely many points. So yes, function has extreme values 1 and minus 1. It is continuous, but does that guarantee that the domain has to be bounded? No. This is an example where the domain is closed, but it's not a bounded domain. What about other way? You have continuity, you have boundedness of the domain. Does that imply that the domain has to be a closed domain? No. It may happen that the extreme values are attained. So this is the third example. It may happen that the extreme values are attained, but the domain is not closed. Okay. So, and it's a bounded domain because, so let me take f from open AB to R, and I want to say the end is attained. It's continuous function, and it's a bounded one. So domain is bounded. So at A there is nothing, at B there is nothing. Okay, because they are not in the domain, and I have minimum value at C, maximum value at D. So for this function, extreme values are attained, function is continuous, domain is bounded because both the endpoints are finite, but it is not closed. Okay, so yeah, so converse of extreme value theorem is not true. If the extreme values are attained, that does not imply the function is continuous. that does not imply the domain has to be bounded, that does not imply that the domain has to be closed. So I hope all the three examples are clear. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. Thank you.